TikTok. Where is it? This guy on TikTok is talking about, what is it? Well, who is he? Ryan's escaping the Matrix. He can't. I never seen the kid before. He's got 11.3 thousand followers, and he comes across and he's like, dismantling another Mason town. And he's like, you don't want to be on this timeline. This is not a timeline you want to be on. And I was like, Redding, California, or Redding is one of those towns. They used to have, there's this place called Lost Lanes. And Lost Lanes, I need to make a phone call. Lost Lanes is down below Miracle Mile, and I knew people that lived back there. And ever since I was in high school, and younger than that actually, because I remember riding my bike over there one time. They had rumors where they would sacrifice things on a big rock, and my friends, let's go look and see if there's bloodstains on the rock, and that stuff just creeped me out. So I never once saw the rock. I never went to the rock at Lost Lanes. I always waited at the car, because that stuff isn't fun to me, because I've seen so many horrific things in my life, in real life, that I just look at it like people play too much. You screw around, you play, you think it's funny, you think it's cute, and terrible things happen in the name of cute, just because you think things are cute. I'm not a fan of Halloween. I love the fall, the season, the fall. I have so much love and adoration for the fall. It's just Halloween. I used to think I loved Halloween, but that's why they put Halloween in the season that's so lovable. Is because it's the season that people love. It's not Halloween. Halloween's just another one of those manipulations. I look at all holidays as things that are manipulation. So this kid goes, Redding, Redding, PA? And I said, no, Redding, California, but they're both on the 40th parallel. Because I look at the Earth, it's not a globe that's spinning through the space. It's a radio. And we're puppets on this planet, and our strings are attached to planets in the sky. We're puppets on planetary strings. Yeah, and how your heart beats, it makes you do stuff. It's how you're programmed. How you receive data in, junk out. So, live that best life, does no good for anybody else. It's selfish. That's weird. Anyway, so he's talking about Masonic towns, and where that Lost Lanes, the rock was beneath. I talked to a lady who worked at a real estate agent. I was trying to move back to Redding. That's where I grew up. I knew some people, it's familiar, just go back to where you came from kind of thing. And she was talking about women at her church that still go to Lost Lanes and pray over the souls that are lost there. Whether it's people, because, there's 600,000 people that go missing in the United States every year. It doesn't happen like that in other countries. We're just a people farm. And then they just have breeders to keep having babies, and babies just, make them so sad about their life. They just drink and do drugs and accidentally get pregnant. Yeah, 600,000. I just looked it up to see if that was if it's still a thing. Just look it up in your searcher engine. Anyone. Approximately 600 to 630 missing people reports are filed in the U.S. each year. So does that mean, so when they count When they say that they named all the populations of the people in America, when they say we have 382 blah, does that count all the people that haven't been seen since the 1950s, 60s, 70s? So you add up 600,000 every year since they've been keeping track of how many people go missing since milk carton stuff. That's a lot of snuff films. That's a lot of gross debauchery. It's a lot of people getting hunted in the woods because nobody's going to miss them anyway. I'm one of those single people. It's one of the reasons why I do videos. Just because I have relatives, nieces, and nephews that I want them to one day grow up and see that there's somebody in their bloodline that wasn't a fucking trash heap. And I have very important people in my bloodline, mind you. I have lizards in my bloodline. I'm half lizard. The colonials, today's indigenous peoples, everyday's indigenous people. You're natural born to this earth. You're indigenous, And then the aliens came, the whites from the grays, and then they started making weird scientific projects. You ever see people that look like animals? That's because someplace in their DNA, there's freaking animal DNA. I've seen people, I used to go to AA meetings, and I see women that look like pig, like their lower half, and I was like, you know what? And then they act like the animals in which they were. I think Mom's turtle. Mom's got a little turtle. She looks like a little turtle, and I got to hand feed her so she eats better. Because she has cognitive issues. Her brain got rearranged. A dude rearranged her brain with the car door of a 64 Chevy Biscayne when she was 38. So I have been making peculiar situations normal for her just so she stays comfortable enough to want to live longer on Earth. And it's worked because she'll be 74 in November, at the end of November, God willing, and the creek don't rise. The creek is rising everywhere, man. Creek is rising, and Colorado's flooded. There was a typhoon in Alaska. That's not on the news anywhere. The water rose, washed houses away, rearranged neighborhoods. Instead of fighting each other, what we need to do is figure out how to make places that are safe and cozy and comfortable so people have a place to go and escape, out of the elements, because Earth is ascending. And if you want to make it to the next stage, the next level in this crazy game of life, you're going to want to have to tune into a frequency that is more collective minded, and less me. What I want to do, Just how it is. I see they're doing all kinds of bullshit in the news. Just more of that story. Understand we're in the 249th season finale of America. This country is a complete lie because they created a story called the American Dream, and it's all based on bullshit. So it's a lie. So this country, all the aliens came over and freaking invaded and killed and maimed and made things hard for people. They've been doing it ever since. And they just, in the name of our own good and in words like freedom and democracy, shit like that, it's a lie, dude. It's a complete lie. Oh, the hostages again. The hostages. I'm like, dude, I'm 51. This is like a bad rerun that they play. It's a bad show. It's like every year they play the same bad, they don't care about 600,000 people in America. That's why it's so disingenuous to me. Because 600,000 people go missing in America every year, but people get kidnapped over there, and oh my God, my heart, it has to bleed for them. It's always, you gotta feel bad for them. In my own family, I'm the scapegoat in my family. I'm the generational curse breaker and all that shit. And they always said, Marge, you gotta go along to get along. You know, and then they do things like throw me in swimming pools, like do weird shit. I always got the shame ritual thrown at me. And so what I learned to do is I stopped attaching shame. I stopped attaching any kind of emotion to anything that they would throw at me. And then it just became not fun. So then I just became the throwaway. If I wouldn't participate in their stupid reindeer games, because they couldn't control me. So I just start making fun of myself when they started making fun of me. It's not fun to make fun of somebody that's just going to turn around and make fun of themselves in the same way that I'm trying to hurt their feelings in. People don't want to do that. So the world is it's just a big, everybody's playing chess. Everybody's, what you see here is the character of what I portray in my inside. My insides match my outsides here. I'm a clown. I'm a Heyoka. I'm an empath. Hi, my name's Marge. I just think of this hoodie I'm wearing, this sweatshirt I'm wearing. I got this in 2000. This thing is 25 years old. And it's still holding up. It's all Vans, has skulls on it. It's old. This thing's been to Greece. This thing's been to Alaska. This thing has been. I always take out my drawstrings of my hoodies because it's just a maintenance practice I learned when I was a mechanic. Is that you can't have dangly things hanging in parts that are rotating. You don't want them to get sucked up in the engine. So, but this is back from my kicking it days. Yeah. So, what was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about how every day is an Indigenous People Day. And my TikTok is everywhere. They're talking about that. They're talking about people that are, not of this. But I don't think anybody is 100%. I think if you're on this earth at some point, you've lived interdimensionally in other stories, and we're just like in a big frequency container. So if you've imagined it, you've lived it. Because imagination is tapping into the no place space. The ethers, the element that they took off the compounds that back a long time ago, they removed ether, which is an axonal element, because people want to profit from using it. And the reality of it, they don't want everybody to get the benefits of it. I can't stand selfish people, man. Selfish, stingy, greedy people are the worst. Like people that play into silly reindeer games, made up paradigms, like I can't, like they're all like people that invest in things like nothing tangible. All of the economic system, all of the political system, all of the crypto. It was my understanding when it first began in 2009, when they first started talking, it was like a place where everybody could tap into to get what they need, and they just turned it into something else and greedy, just something that selfish people go at so they can collect numbers, so they can give it to doctors, so they can do things like change their face, and so when they look in the mirror at somebody that they can tolerate, they really can't tolerate their face, because that's why once they start changing their faces and shooting this shit in their face and doing this and doing that, they can't even remember who they were. They can't ever figure out who they are because they're too busy going with what the program tells them to go. Going with what they're told to do. My part of going with the program is not going with the program. So because of how I've been conditioned, I'm the opposite. I'm the contrarian, see? I live to get people to think that there are different ways to think. Mostly people want to think all the ways that everybody else thinks, because that's just easier and nice and safe in their little bubble. The whole world's going to pop under the bubble. You can't live a glorious life your whole life without ever getting your hands dirty, without ever. You can't level up without pain and suffering. You just can't. You don't. That's not. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and you can't level up in the spiritual realm if you just freaking just live the same cushy year in and year out the whole time you were here, while you saw people in your community that, God, man, they needed help. You just couldn't muster it up enough. Because people don't give people money. People don't give people houses. People don't give people cars. People don't give them big... No, I mean, you're telling me you don't do that for people. Earthly stuff don't mean shit to me. People that drive new fast cars, new trucks, and stuff like that, like, they don't got no soul. They're just a spirit sack with no soul. They have no soul. And when people are that empty of spirit and soul, that they're open themselves up to the gluttony demons and the greedy demons and all the and then they have holidays that people pay homage to show what demon that they're for. Halloween's gluttony. 4th of July, it's pride. Thanksgiving could be gluttony too. Wait, what does it say? I looked at it. You look up different places, it says different things. And it's different for everyone. Lust is Valentine's Day. Maybe I'll get some. Greed, Black Friday. But greed isn't a holiday. I think greed would be Thanksgiving because the land was stolen. That should be Thanksgiving. Pride, Independence Day. National pride. America's the best. Dude, America is a urinal at this point. Because how many towns can you go downtown just to walk around, maybe get some breakfast, just feel the high vibrational frequency of camaraderie, fellowship, all that stuff that comes with gathering. And you just get that freaking... it'd be good if I didn't smell fucking human piss. Oh, Wrath is the 4th of July? I don't agree with that. Columbus Day is sloth. Seen as a day off. That's so funny. Nah, I don't think that. I don't know. It's just another prideful day. But people get the day off. Post office was closed, but then the regional transit people... No, the post office, was it open? I can't remember if the door was locked. The side door was locked. But it was early, too. But then you have these regional transit asshats. These stupid cousins that get paid $25 an hour to take up space and make it hard for people to navigate to park in their parking lots because they're just standing around, 4 people. So that's $100 that I watched. I made a TikTok of it. Like when I was growing up, I was surrounded by men in society that said, your mom's on welfare, she doesn't work. And trying to give a kid a normal life in the fucking 70s on welfare when your ex-husband is a Freemason asshole whose mommy protected him and wanted to make your life hard just because precious boy didn't like you. Like, that's what my world was. And I still get the disadvantages of my bloodline because I'm my mother's daughter and I live from my heart. See, authenticity, that's a much higher vibrational frequency than love. How many times have I heard I love you and then they do something really fucking shitty? So, love, I just see it as like words that people use to just make me do work for them that they didn't want to do. I once dated a girl to be nice. I took her trash out on my way out. If the garbage was full and I noticed it, when I left, I would take it to the dumpster on the way out. And she thought that was she was so grateful. And then what happened was is she started like going shopping, grocery shopping with her ex-boyfriend and hanging out with her and like doing all this stuff like I'm like, dude, grateful people don't act like that. That's not how grateful people act. And so I stopped taking her garbage out because she didn't appreciate what I was doing, because people that are appreciating grateful, they don't do stuff like that. And then one day she said, you know what, I noticed that you haven't taken my garbage out in a long time. And I looked at her and I said, that's because it's your garbage. I do shit to be nice to people, and then fucking people walk all over me. You know, pay people extra to go out of their way to pay somebody fucking $40 to do my dog's nails, and then they're gonna blow me off. That's cool. This chick, she's willing to charge me $15, and she's coming all the way from Three Peaks. But guess what? I'll charge her $40 because that's what it's worth to me. Not have to deal with fucking flaky Taoians. I don't care if they're born and raised or if they lived here a week. It's like people come here to be flakes. And I'm sick of it, so I'm going to go live someplace else. I probably won't wonder what's going on in Taos much, because I lived here 5 years and it's the same year 5 times in a row. Shit doesn't get better. They just have more cousins that are getting paychecks. They just spent $11.8 million on a North Regional Transit Center in Taos. There's only 7,000 people in this whole town. Everybody could have had a reliable mid-range vehicle to get themselves where they needed to go. That would provide maintenance for... But no! They got to build this big old building and hire 12 people to work there, and then just let it sit. Well, and then they can't employ enough people because we don't like their kind is their attitude. They don't hire people based on what they know. See, I grew up in a place where it doesn't matter how you feel about people, if you like them or don't like them. There's a job to be done, and that is the goal. And you sign the back of the paycheck. You don't sign the front of the paycheck where the company owners is. No, you sign the back that it endorses it, that says thank you for letting me do a job where I can get paid so I can get things that I need to have a life that I kind of want. But see, America, it's stuck on this station, this static station, this low hum where they play heavy metal and rock and roll, where raping and pillaging and all that shit is really cool and cute, and it's not. None of it is. False idols for profits? None of that stuff is cute. All these people, all these Hollywood people dying, they died every time I turned off the TV. They're not real people to me. They're just part of a program. They didn't care if if we had enough food growing up. They didn't give a shit. They just cared that people were watching their shows, and that they were getting paid more than most people got paid for 5 years of work, for getting people to believe in things that, quite frankly, just aren't true. So whenever another false idol for profit, like, I wonder how many people were stranded on the side of the road, and Diane Keaton came up and saw them stranded with their hood up and they're tired, came up and said, you know what? Let me help you. Can I help you change your tire? Let me call you. Like, that shit don't happen because they're not real fucking people. And that's how humans act. And that's what's happening in America, is people have tuned in to ego shit and tuned out to just their own humanity with their free will. Just based on everyday choices on how they want to live their life and where they want to put their energy and what they want to spend their money on. They say, put your money where your mouth is. I say, put your money where your fucking heart is, where you don't have one. I've known so many rich people. In my AA, I was born into rich people. All these rich people, all their advantage that they mustered up, that was passed down to them, that they never had to do nothing fucking hard to get their cars and their wardrobes and their educations. They didn't have to diet to lose weight, to join the military, to get a college degree, to take care of their mom. They didn't have to do none of this shit. And I was born into the advantage. But because I was a woman and I wasn't going to go along with being the trans person or the subservient Stepford wife, that I wanted to just learn how to build stuff out of wood and cook things and bake things and do things to make people happy and comfortable. The system was like, no, we can't have any ideologies like that. We gotta spend all of our made up fucking budgets blowing up place, making them care about shit over there. I care about stuff here in America. I do. I care about people here. I don't have to like them. I don't care about the color of their skin. I don't care about I'm indigenous. I look at people like we're all just shades of the color wheel, right? Like everywhere I look, I see aliens from outer space. It's just how my imagination is, because I've always tapped into the no place space. I live in the no place space. I got a stellium in Pisces. I have no earth. I have nothing to ground me to this earthly existence. All the stuff I have, it's creature comforts. Stuff to help pass the time while mom's hanging out when she don't want to go out and do stuff. Lucky for me, she wants to go out and do stuff more now, so we get to go out for drives, and I got the apocalypse wagon is what I call my vehicle. And she's nice and road ready. So I want to get some stencil. See, when I was in the Air Force, you had access to anything and everything you wanted. They had a stencil machine, and I made a big old long sticker that said, straight people like rainbows too. I wonder whatever happened to that. I was going to put it on like a back of my truck. And then now I make stickers and t-shirts. I made magnets. They should be here soon. Where is... Oh, here they are. I'm stiff. You waking up yet, Ma? No? Okay. I make the t-shirts, stickers, I got magnets. I don't even sell this shit. I just give it away. Because we're all just shades of the same color wheel. That's not the rainbow. But people just look at it and they're void of spirit. Because in order to see me, you gotta have a heart. You gotta have a soul. If you don't got a heart and a soul, I'm not gonna come across your FYP. Because I'm not for the masses. I'm not mainstream. You know? I'm for people that believe and recognize and respect and identify and appreciate universal law like karma. All the people that don't believe in karma, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist because you don't believe in things. There's plenty of things on this earthly plane that exist that people don't believe in. That doesn't cease the things from existing. It's just they don't care. They're that arrogant that they don't care about consequences of their actions. They just go around, do whatever they want, whenever they feel like, shitting on this person, crapping on this person. I used to be that way. That's how I learned the error of my ways, is the consequences that came from living that earthly, immersed, egomaniacal lifestyle. Paul Harvey did a talk about like what the devil would do. Like if I were the devil, all I would do is just pretty much get everybody. That's why America's going down the toilet, because there's no good orderly direction. People are like, nah, I could do the right thing, I'm just not gonna. It's not as fun. Doesn't feel as good. Chasing sensations. It's not. It's just not fun. So everybody just goes around doing fun, and God, I've missed out on so much fun in life. I've had a lot of fun. I have. I've had a lot of what I construed and thought was fun at the time. Then I became a stay-at-home daughter. And there's so many of us out here. They're stay-at-home daughters, sons, granddaughters, just people, single people that have somebody that can't go to work. So we can't go to work because, like, you know, we got white butts and stuff like that. And there's like for all those, you know, spiritualists and stuff like that that are having conferences, their astrology conferences. Come gather and tell, you know, and pay tickets to listen to us talk about stuff that should be free. But we're so important, we want you to pay for our kids to buy Gucci shit and stuff. And I'm not paying for other people's bad decisions and overhead. You know, I'm not paying for other people's F-350s and fucking fifth wheel trailers and, you know, all this. I'm not. Their creature comforts are too much. I can't afford other people's creature comforts. So I you know, all that Sedona shit. It's all spiritual fake stuff. It's all traffic to the locals, is what it is. It's all inconvenience to people that are just trying to get by every day of their lives. You know, just get to their destination and get home. But then, you know, there's freaking 100 cars with Texas, Utah, you know, because their places are so shitty. They gotta fucking come and make where I live shitty because they're here. Because they brought the shitty with them. Because wherever is ever as good as or as shitty as the town is, it's because of the people that live there. It's never because of the town. Towns' lands are always awesome. They're always rad. They're always gorgeous. They're always wonderful. It's the people that freaking ruin things. Gotta put their shit everywhere. They're pissed. They're fucking. They're just nasty and gross because they don't have any soul. They don't have any spirit. They're just complete demonic buckets of evil. Because they don't aspire to do any better. That's what they do in their free will in America. You travel around, you look at other parts of the country, it's not like here. America's the trash hole. They're just tell them how great it is. Just give them the stuff to watch, and on that stuff, you'll just tell them how wonderful America is, and then they won't pay attention to how shitty their streets are in their towns. Like when bad emergency happens, you know, nobody's around to help them. All this stuff. That's what people are waking up to, the live America. Because of social media and stuff, that, you know, you got people that are traveling around and they see, oh my God, this is really, like, the food's better. You know, they're not trying to kill us and poison us with the shit that we eat. You know, like, life is, hey, what's up? Life is simpler. There's so much easier ways to live, but because of the narcissistic overtake of the land of the lost, because of the stupid cousins, you know, us good people here in America, we just got, because what good people don't go out and get guns and fucking shoot people because they're bad people. They don't do that. It's so, you know, I mean, and Christians, I guess their prayers aren't working if there's so many Christians that are collectively praying for the egomaniacal and the evil and the wicked to change their hearts and their mind space to just do good, you know? But because the ideology exists that people will do anything for a paycheck, that's why I'm like, universal income. Give everybody $2,000 and then they have enough to be creative and not live in a vibrational frequency of lack like I grew up in, because mom was terrified about always having me taken away from her. Because I came from a family, and I was my dad's mistake. Like, my dad's side was fucking livid because my brother was born. He was gonna pass on, all the privilege and advantage. The little rhinestone cowboy. And then my parents hooked up. Mom got pregnant after my parents were divorced. I didn't find this out until I was 40. Like 10 years ago, I found all this shit out. Like, my parents were divorced and then they hooked up. And I was like, that's why my dad always fucking hated me. Because he had his out, but he couldn't keep it in his pants. Because my dad's a total narcissist. He's a truck driver. Like, he did all the terrible things that evil men do, that I've had to tolerate wicked men doing to me. So I know who they are in the world because I grew up around them. I'm like a fucking asshole magnet, really. I just gotta be cool. I'm not always cool, so. I like to say my mom didn't raise no dummy, but my dad did. He's Aries, mom's Sagittarius, I'm Aries, so I am fire, firstborn daughter of fire. So I am their lessons to teach them. You can't contain fire, and they always try to control me. I still turned out okay. My dad was a violent man. He liked to fight, and he was a machismo. He still is, as far as I know. He hated women, Then he created my brother, who hated women. Treated me terribly, still does. And then I look around the whole world, and like, America's run by fucking men that hate women. And the only reason why they take advantage is because they're stronger. Like, if that's what your defense in life is and your claim to fame is that if you don't buckle to my will, that at some point I will hurt you. Yeah, that's what this country is based on, and that's why it's going down the toilet, because there's no place for that in this world. I grew up, I spent a couple of years in a place called Morro Bay, and Mom dated a guy, because they talk about all the evil, wicked shit that's coming out today. I always knew about that stuff. I never lived on a planet where that shit didn't exist. They had those parties. A place. My mom had a boyfriend. He worked at a place in San Simeon, California, called Hearst Castle. Those were like places like that is where the original Diddy parties happen. Any place where people think that they're so important, and then you add alcohol and drugs, they do all kinds of weird shit. Some of them end up in ER rooms. Boy, the countless stories have I heard from ER doctors and nurses, from people having stuff pulled from their orifices, because why people do the things they do. Are they even people, or are they just freaking sacks of demons that are just going around doing weird shit? But I also see how the JC frequency is grabbing people's heart. The Jesus Christ frequency is really grabbing a hold on to people, that people are coming into they're finding ways to fucking make people's that have shitty lives. You want to make the world a better place? Give people shitty lives things that they need to make their lives better. Give everybody what they need, and then we'll have places like more towns in America like China, because there aren't drunks and junkies and homeless people all over the place. Because they have places that people can go to get things that they need to be the best version of themselves. I don't know why, because the controllers, the lizards, don't, because I guess they gotta die off and people gotta come into their spirit more, huh, little lunatickle? You're so pretty. So you got food topper. It's gonna be in the mail today. Chewy's coming. Yippee, my pretty girl. See my sweet and smart and funny. We slept in here. I think it's gonna be nice and toasty in here this winter. They double bagged the AC vent. So, but we haven't got down below freezing yet. I guess Montana got its first snow. I hope the community freaking pulls together for all the people in Alaska, because like these people, that's the way they live, right? Like that, because they never got an opportunity to go anyplace else. So they build their house, and then the tides haven't risen in for so long, but then they rose, and then the houses became unstable. That's what happened in Alaska. What happened over in North Carolina when you have rich people there? I have so much money, I'm just gonna build my house on stilts. I'm gonna defy nature. My ego is so compelling that the will that I'm gonna have a desire to live on a house in stilts on the beach, and of course they go tumbling over. So it's like the same circumstance under entirely different same outcome under entirely different circumstances. Still, how many people are unhoused now? And as the earth ascends and things spin up, like more and more people are going to be unhoused, but we're going to see like the division of ego and spirit. Like people that lose everything, they become the generous, or people that have had nothing and got something. Like you have to go through things to become. Rich people aren't generous. They don't do things out of the goodness of their heart. They do things for tax write-offs and for this silly made-up system. And to pretend like they're somebody they're not. Oh, well, look at all the money. They don't go out and hang out with stinky people and, do stuff like that. So, the production of the reality of Corp USA being a stage sound, a sound stage for narratives for the whole world, that stuff is coming over. Now, we could come from a place from our heart and really do right, like if the colonists came over and cooperated with the indigenous and didn't take over and learned the ways and took them back to where they, and took the good and left the rest. No, you can't take over. You can't fuck with people's free will. You can't. It's universal law. And I know that, like, lizards and demons choose souls up just by getting people to go against their spirit, just by getting people to not help people and live from their heart. Just by doing that, the devil wins. So we're in a big old video game. People gonna live from their spirit, or they gonna live from their heart, or their ego. Their heart or ego, heart or mind stuff that gives pleasure, all that earthly shit. So I know too many people that care about earthly stuff, so they're not in my world. I don't have people in my world, really. I have a very small planet, and it gets smaller. Huh, pretty girl? Just so pretty. You want to go outside, walk around, give pretty girl kisses? She don't even miss the stinky boys. It makes me sad that she doesn't miss her 3 dog brothers. Like at all. She's just so happy she's the only dog, huh? You're the best girl in the world to me. I see you go looking at the stairs. I see the wheels turning. Alright. Ma, you ready to get up? Huh? Did you go back to sleep, Ma? Do you want to get up, Ma? You want to go back to sleep? Okay. That's what I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Try and go out and do something nice for somebody else besides yourself. Peace. I'm talking.